What's going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the third album by Kansas City rap group Skatterman Snug Brim. Basically this project is called Word on the Streets and it came out in the summer of 2008. Basically the concept about these particular cats is they were acquired by N9ne in like the early mid-2000s as far as those pitches going to happen. I wanted to get to these folks. I had plans to originally do it a lot sooner, but I just look after the pitch behind it. This is some excellent type stuff here. I would definitely feel like has some good features on here. It has Young Buck, which is pretty dope. Has Paul Wall on here. N9ne's on here a couple of times. There's some Chris Calico hooks on here. BG Bullet Wound, who's another strange music kind of affiliates on here. Kutt Calhoun's on a song, even though I don't recommend that song. So it has some good concepts about this particular project. Really nice appeal. Pretty much like a good grizzled kind of alternative to the Kutt Calhoun type sound just within the pitch. I know that these cats have featured a number of times on some of Kutt Calhoun's projects, so I wanted to check these folks out. And as it were, this is an excellent type one here. So this is going to get a classic and rave score. Just an excellent kind of highlighted type pitch. Really some blistering type appeal. Some of the N9ne standard producers like Wishmaster and Seven are on here as far as that pitch kind of goes. So there's a lot of good, excellent productions on here. N9ne really helmed a pretty good masterpieces within this relative type pitch, and this has a lot of good glitz about it. Now, basically, I would say if Kutt Calhoun was probably someone that might sell like maybe 6,500 copies first week, or maybe 9,000, 9,200, somewhere in there, I'd have to say that these cats were probably someone that would probably sell like 5,500 or 4,300, something like that. It's maybe like maybe just like a mildly little brother of like the Kutt Calhoun type sound, but it's not to say these cats are low key, or it's not to say these cats are like small time as far as those pitches gonna happen. They just didn't get to like the blistering type of appeal that larger strange music cats kind of got. And it's too bad that they only put out 2 albums with strange music as far as those pitches gonna happen, because it's definitely pretty excellent type one. Would have been a great pitch to have gotten more. But basically, as far as that particular kind of goes, Skatterman Snug Brim really did not drop any more projects after this particular one, minus like the 2009 mixtape, which was not affiliated with N9ne, but I do want to get to that one. But I'm definitely going to get to some more of these. They had like at least a couple hits. They had like a relatively popular song in 2004 off their 2004 album. That was the last album they dropped before that. But then these folks, Skatterman dropped some solo projects and Snug Brim dropped some solo projects. But we'll just go ahead and get to the promotion here. So this would have to say, basically, Ups and Downs is the only single off this project. Now, it does have some good appeal about it, just being able to say, once again, I'm going to go ahead and say this album's going to get a 10 out of 10 here, just blistering type appeal, but Ups and Downs is like a snap to it, kind of bustle song, traditional, kind of late 2000s, Get Money, just pitches like that. Some of these folks like Meek Mill's Dream Chasers, you know, some of these mixtape type cats, Yo Gotti, Waka Flocka, some of these type folks that did that type fair. It's an interesting type pitch that basically Skatterman Snug Brim had an early kind of ups on that as far as just like back in the summer of 2008. So it's a good appeal of that. This is a good topic I feel about this particular song. Is the concept of this: people fucking with you when you're rich, but not fucking with you when you're not. As far as those pitches kind of happen when you're having downs, they're just not as around you as much. But this is a good song to smoke, a nice one too. It's like the appeal behind it. This real kind of blistering type appeal. Yeah, I would just describe the song between this song Ups and Downs, then I'm That Nigga. Both these particular songs just have that more money get type appeal of like a standard late 2000s, early 2010s hustle songs for some of those pitches. As far as those pitches kind of go, it's just some standard mixtape type fare to kind of get. So it's a good concept for some of that. This is basically like a street album here, just within the pitch roll. I would definitely go out to track this project down just within the pitch behind it. But yeah, so yeah, there's 18 songs on this particular project. There's 20 songs on here, but minus the intro and the knockout skit, I just would have to say that out of 18 songs, I wound up recommending 16. So the only 2 songs I don't recommend on here would just be Watchin' Me and then Help Me Change. Both of these are just kind of more homely type ones that just didn't really have the appeal of like something more with better solace. I mean, I feel like the Slumish type appeal, just trying to get something that's kind of ghetto-esque, just within the tone of having like some of that local residential type fare, just in a more kind of starry and just kind of optimistic type tone about it. Just has something, but it just doesn't nail it as well as like N9ne or Kutt Calhoun, some of those type folks are typically going to do. And it's disappointing that Kutt Calhoun was on Help Me Change. I mean, I wanted to like the song, but I just didn't like the topic as far as those pitches going to happen. This is the topic of saying help me change, help me become better as far as those pitches going to happen. But I look after it, both these ones just didn't have like the overall type of appeal this full blown. I think probably just need a little bit more sculpting to kind of get those a little bit more elemented as far as those pitches kind of happen. But they are at least there for like the balance of having something more than just club bops and just get crunk type songs, lady songs, pitches like that, car songs that I'd say. But yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10. So I'm just going to go down the list with some of these. Like basically one of the songs that N9ne is on is I'm That Nigga. This is like a vintage kind of late 2000s bustle feels about this one. This is like a vintage kind of late 2000s bustle song. I'd say it feels like mixtape single. Some of that this feels like a mixtape single. I'd have to say it's like a solid buzz of a song to kind of get, and this is like a money get kind of roll out type pizzazz kind of have here. So it's just one of those type ones, very similar to Ups and Downs. Like I was saying, same type of embrace and overall appeal towards it. Just that same sort of glimmer and just after effect of just getting just commerce and just feeling good, just kind of a tone. A little bit more Traverse in mind when you think of a song like Bunk Rock Bitch by Kutt Calhoun, some of that just kind of feel good, just after work shift kind of relief, just in a more money get type tone, just a snazzy type of feel, just having relative grin on your face, this good concept of just having some good times, just in the aspect of just evening primers of just you got money, and it's just kind of a good concept of getting towards it, some good concepts for this mixtape type fare. N9ne holds its own on this particular song, so it's good pitch. This is produced by Seven, it's good tone for that. One of the better songs on here in terms of the more immediate factor, I'd say, is Suckaduckas. This has Young Buck on here, which is a pretty good pitch. It kind of a snag this feature. It's like a woozy kind of nightclub tip-in, I feel like, about this one. Good glimmer and pizzazz about this particular song. Has some social bite about it, definitely, and it's like a dap and local noise song to kind of get. So this just feels like a more kind of hole-in-the-wall type club bop to kind of get here as far as those pitches kind of happen. I just would look after this particular one. It's probably be one of the more immediate type ones, because the actual buzz songs, like I think in some cases folks are probably going to go for like the N9ne songs and the singles as far as those pitches kind of happen, but I do think this is another immediate type one to kind of go for some of that social pizzazz that has a good excellent type one. On My Feet with Paul Wall is another one that's just like that. This has a real snarling type production on here and some good thump about it. So I'd say On My Feet is like a warped and hella trippy kind of step out glamour to kind of get here. Nice Paul Wall and Kutt Calhoun snags. Kutt Calhoun helps out with the hook, and it's like some super thump. I'd say it's a good song for some out. So this one, good 1-2 punch with Suckaduckas, some of these types of peels. It's also some good vehicle knock on here. There are some ones on this particular project, like there's at least another one on here I'm trying to think of, like say Old School is a pretty nice one for that, some of these type bops. I guess I'll go ahead and talk about Old School. This is like a snazzy kind of slummish residential heat, I'd have to say. Good city hop and night commerce to kind of get with this particular one. Grab some goodies, Taco Bell drifting kind of get as far as those pitches kind of happen. And this overall Old School has a pretty similar production type fare to On My Feet, I'd say. Good, just overall good knock and just good system jump to kind of get within the pitch behind it. Heartbreaker's a pretty nice one. This is another one that has N9ne on here. This also has Kutt Calhoun, good pitch for that. It's like a tensive and kind of serious city traffic, I'd have to say about this one. Just a workaday kind of drifting, Bill Payne type music to kind of get, and this is like a good haze to kind of smoke up to. So it's just within the tone, this kind of some shit is real type music to kind of get within that particular tone. But just also the aspect of just kind of, it's more like the workaday type slag just within the tone behind it. Just kind of relatively, it's kind of a traditional kind of blue collar type one in a more slummish type sense. I'd have to say just within the tone behind it. I just look after it. It's kind of in a more alternative and strange music type format. Just a good tone to kind of get some of these. This is one of those N9ne kind of in between type songs kind of have within that pitch that he kind of does on like Absolute Power and some of those type albums, like I want to say Ever Ready the Religion within a certain sense, or maybe Vintage Tech, some of those type ones. But this is just a good kind of cloudy, just gusty type day, just within the pitch, within the tone of just like workaday. So there are some workaday songs on here. I'd say there's some other ones, but real quality one on here that's not an immediate highlight, but I did enjoy the song, is It's Nothing. This like a beleaguered kind of uptown haze about this one. Just city hopping like a drunken woozy kind of appeal, I'd say about this one. It's just kind of standard hazy kind of sunlight type gem to kind of get. So this feels like a little bit more just kind of beleaguered, just kind of within the tone, just like the aspect of just kind of, this one just kind of feels like a sullen type one, just within the pitch of just kind of more outing. This is just kind of like some outing kind of sullenness to kind of get like some decent kind of rumination just within the pitch behind it, but just kind of more just hot sunny day type pitch. It's a good tone to be able to get this one. I'd say Lil Mama's an excellent type one. It's like a jazzy kind of typical strange music club heater to kind of get. I want to say, yeah, this is produced by Seven. This is a real nice one to get. It's like some local fun, definite gem to kind of get. It's like a dance club heat. I would definitely feel like here probably could have been a buzz single type vibe about this particular song, I'd say. So it's just nice type of feel to kind of get. The standard club hop type one goes well with Suckaduckas and On My Feet, some of these type ones. A little bit more dance club bounce compared to like On My Feet, but definitely like within the appeal, just like a standard club thump to kind of get within a more residential type fare. So it's just kind of more low key type sense. I mean, the thing about this particular product is just the fact that it has like these low key type bops on here. I do feel like, once again, when I would have to say that this album probably only sold like 6,000 or 8,000 copies, maybe 12,000 after all these years, I'd say it's just within the pitch that has that relative type of appeal, but it is some good type dopeness to kind of get here. So I'd say Hold Me Down is a quality one. It's like a creeping kind of Tech N9ne horror vibes about this particular one. They do briefly dab into horrorcore a bit. It's like a good ghastly kind of traverse, I'd have to say. It's kind of work a day in like an autumn haze kind of gets just the pitch. Late October, November, some of that type fair when the trees are looking scraggly, some of those type pitches, just being able to say just feels like a standard kind of KOD or Killer era Tech N9ne just within those pitches as far as that particular kind of happens. So it's a good type tone. Kutt Calhoun kind of does this occasionally, and it's the same thing with Skatterman. This is a good reason as to why there should have been more albums on the Strange Music label, just more albums in general, because this is some good type fare, just being able to get, they feel real comfortable in this particular song. Run the Streets is a good bop. This is like a murky kind of late day commerce, I would have to say. This is like a feel the thump kind of creep slow type tune kind of get. Definitely some romp type music to kind of have here, and it's like a local night primer for life. It's like a local night primer for like some later on excitement. This would be a good concept. Pick up some goodies, swishers, some of that type fare. Get like a box of beer, some of those type of things. Call up the homies, figure out some stuff that's going to happen as far as getting ready to get towards it. It's like a real nice one to kind of have for just cruise around. Just some good type fare. Goes great with like On My Feet and old school, just more in the pitch, of just kind of a little bit more haunting than those particular type ones, but I do like the aspect of some of this type thump on here. So there's a lot of good vehicle knock about this product. Pretty just traverse centric type stuff to kind of get within like some good knock just for like that appeal. And this is kind of something I think some folks not like I said, it's probably not a ton of folks are going to know about this. So it's like some good surprise type music you're going to have for like, you know, folks to say what the hell is this type stuff. So it works for that. Get Back is a nice one. It's like a bustling kind of city commute. I'd have to say just a slummish kind of work a day, even more lower key than Tech N9ne. I'd have to say about this particular one. Just the same concept with Tech N9ne, just even lower than that. I'd have to suppose, not in quality, but just in overall casualness. This has some buzz appeal, and it's like some good errands type music. This one almost feels like some mixtape kind of Don Cannon DJ drama type soul that you would have gotten like the mid 2000s as far as those pitches kind of having the same sort of appeal, some sort of localized type fare as far as those pitches kind of having. Definitely some great errands music. I'd have to say some good comedy just kind of get for like some, you know, gusty kind of day commerce, just 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock p.m., something like that. Lunchtime, lunch break type music. It's a little bit more bustle in mind. I'd say Shit Starter is a pretty nice one as well. It's like a raucous kind of rock rap hitter to kind of get here. Is one of the, this kind of feels like Limp Bizkit, some of those type of folks, good pitch, kind of get that good tone to kind of see some of this, like some summer frolic and like a fun kind of midday afternoon fun to kind of have for some. It's like some summer frolic fun to kind of get here, and this would be like a midday kind of afternoon fun, some of that type fare, cookout and smoke party type music kind of get within that tone. It's a good concept for some of that turn up just within the pitch. So it's a good aspect to kind of see that Skatterman Snug Brim knew about some of these type folks just within the pitch, because new metal wasn't happening as much full blown kind of in late 2008 or kind of in late 2008, 2009, some of those type fairs. I mean, Tech N9ne would occasionally do it, but it just wasn't as common, so it's a good pitch to kind of get some of this type stuff just for some of that appeal. Great song to have some drinks in your system, some of that type fare, just barbecue, ribs type music, burgers, some of that type fare. Bigger than that, it's a quality one. It's like a standard kind of city hop and local kind of woozy sunshine. It's like a standard kind of city hop and local kind of woozy sunshine type song kind of get here. Just grab Subway, hit up the homies, just kind of a slummish type jam. There are some ones on here that are just some neighborhood type strolls, some of the stuff that Kutt Calhoun would kind of do with like a song like Jay's on My Feet, some of those type pitches just within the particular tone. There are some Traverse songs on here, but there are some ones like Bigger Than That, and I'd probably say like, well yeah, there's definitely some other ones on like It's Nothing, some of these type ones just within a more standard, just Traverse type appeal, I'd say. Yeah, Bigger Than That is just kind of an in-between type day, just in a more slummish type sense. This traditional kind of Kutt Calhoun, Tech N9ne, some of that type of feel. This local type bops kind of get, just definitely grab some Subway type music, homies type fare. I'd say Go Hard is a nice one. It's like a creeping kind of neighborhood traffic, gas station run, kind of goodies and Bill Payne type stuff to kind of get. Just some local kind of Kutt Calhoun like outings to kind of get. As long as there's some local kind of Kutt Calhoun like outings to kind of get with this particular type fare. Just some standard autumn haze kind of get for some of these type ones. Just standard commute just within the pitch of this local. The standard commute just within the pitch of residential type fun as far as that would particularly kind of go. Just more same sort of pizzazz as Kutt Calhoun, just with a little bit more creepiness towards it. It has a good pitch for some of that. Yeah, this is just like, a lot of this music just works like a great 1-2 punch with Kutt Calhoun. I'd have to say more so than Chris Calico or Tech N9ne, some of those type folks. I feel like this is just kind of a more kind of residential neighborhood type fare. It's the same sort of pitch. Kutt Calhoun would kind of have more club bops on here within a relative sense. I mean, I'd probably, to really think about it, I'd say it's just probably the same, almost identical type stuff within the particular tone. This would be a great alternative to Kutt Calhoun just within the pitch behind it. It's the same sort of fare, So, a commonplace for that sort of conduct is when you want an artist, something like that, or multiple artists just within that. When you want an artist or musician, some of that type of, it's good to get some commonplace type ones for that. And then Fools is a quality one. It's like a back on the prowl for the night kind of outings here. I'd have to say it's like a snack run, kind of smoke up and standard city hop type antics kind of get here, and definitely just some standard kind of evening comedy just within the pitch behind it. So this would be one of those more traditional kind of evening commerce type ones, just like after worship type fare, like Bigger Than That and Go Hard and some of these type ones. I mean, they kind of blur the lines. Some of these are more on foot gas station type run, Taco Bell type fare, pitches like that. Some of these are more type ones of like this cruise around. I mean, it's within the same pitch. Some of these, the ones that have more knock, are probably more vehicle centric, but it's just within the tone, just some standard outs, good pitch for that. So yeah, I fully endorse a lot of I fully endorse the appeal behind this particular product. I'll always take more alternatives to Kutt Calhoun and N9ne as far as those pitches can happen. So this is just some excellent blitzing type appeal. So yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10 as far as those pitches can happen. I can't think of any other songs I haven't talked about on here. Maybe I haven't talked about Come Over. This might be another one. It's like a residential kind of bay and bellish of a song to kind of get here. It's like some good juggalette and ratchet type chicas to kind of get within that tone. Just a gab and conduct type song to kind of have for some of that. This would be like a great song to smoke and vibe out to. So it's just a standard pitch, a little bit of ladies type fare, just within a more ratchet type sense and localized type fare. Good tone for that in particular. Now every single song is particularly ladies prone within that particular pitch. It's enough glitziness to kind of have ladies around, but just within the pitch, that one that's designated for ladies. It's a nice one for that particular type tone. So that's a good pitch. So yeah, oh yeah, Lil Mama's another one of those songs like that as well, obviously, but just within the tones. I look after it. Just this album gets a 10 out of 10. The social score I'm probably gonna give like a 9.75 to, because I look after the appeal behind it. There's enough blitz off this project. There's good guests on here: Paul Wall, Young Buck, N9ne a couple times, some of these type folks. This good pitches, Chris Calico, BG Bullet Wound, some of these type folks just would have to say. I just look after it. I still think it's relatively kind of low key, and I feel like the concept that there are some productions on here that have some relative blitz type appeal, but if you're not honed and kind of more stationed to N9ne or the strange music type sound, it may not have like the overall immediate type appeal. Like if you're looking for a song like this has that immediate appeal, like 50 Cent's In the Club or Disco Inferno or like Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice, or just like more vanilla type rap in like a commercial type sense, it's just a little bit more of an acquired taste, just kind of within that tone. It's not to say it's acquired like it has like that steep a learning curve, but it's just kind of within the pitch. This is more underground hip hop. And this is kind of like if Kutt Calhoun is N9ne Slime, who N9ne is a very underground rapper within a relative sense. I mean, nowadays he's larger, but back in those days he wasn't. Basically, Skatterman Snug Brim is like Kutt Calhoun Slime, just a good affiliate or a cousin of that particular sound to them. So it's just kind of the pitch. Once again, probably folks that would have sold like 6,000, 7,000 copies first week, something like that. So it's just kind of the tone. But I look after it. It doesn't change the appeal. This is kind of the concept of just questioning like the embrace behind it and just the embrace behind it. So 9.75. In terms of the future, like I was saying, Skatterman and Snug Brim have not dropped a project since 2009. So I want to get to some more of these. I'm going to get to their solo stuff, the 2009 mixtape, their other two albums, some of those type fares. Plenty good appeal. Just judging by the taste of this particular product, this was a 10 out of 10 here. So I'm excited to see what else they particularly have. But it is unfortunate that they don't have more with N9ne. They left so soon just within the pitch. But yeah, this is a classic here. And definitely a classic, like an underground sense in a local kind of residential Taco Bell run, Waffle House run type sense as well.